Join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a VC check-in room, and someone will come along to VC Riffia to get involved with the conversation about Earth.
Enemy spotted.
DJ Vash, Jpezuela1001 returns, and SaltyPDK.
DJ Vash. What's up, DJ?
How's it going?
Pretty good. What brings you into the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord?
Literally just listen to you guys for the most part.
Ah, yeah. Not going to hear much right now, unfortunately. How'd you hear about the server?
Pinky, what the hell was his last name? Badinsky? But I don't know how to say it. One of those guys on the Modern Day Debate server recommended checking you guys out. Apparently you guys got a lot of topics you talk about. I'm like, sure, I'll take a look.
Well, we really tend to try to stick to one topic here, and that is the shape of the Earth.
Right.
You got anything you'd like to say about it? You lean one way or the other?
This is going to sound odd, but I really give two shits of what the hell the shape of the Earth is because it doesn't affect me.
Why do you think it doesn't affect you?
Well, I don't sail, I don't fly, I don't do anything work-wise that requires, Earth shape and whatnot. It doesn't really affect me in my daily life, so I just go on my merry way with it. Whether it be flat or round, I don't have a leaning.
What about the idea
Why in the world did you take the why'd you take the recommendation to show up here then?
Because I was told that you guys talk about different things, so I'm always open to listen to different things.
Well, there's there's a chess room, but the topic is what the topic is.
Yeah. And that's
if that's the last thing you need to talk about, then maybe find something more specific, like a server, like knitting or something. Like, what else did you want to talk about?
I just pop in to listen. And then somebody says, "Hey, DJ
what other things were you told that we talk about?"
Oh, just like daily stuff, like men's fitness and health and nutrition and a couple other things.
No. No, there's different voice channels. There's different voice channels for that, but in the live stream.
Yes.
Oh, in the live stream? So the only time I've heard for what
different channels there's different channels for that, like people talking about pictures of what they ate for lunch. Yeah, there's a whole health and nutrition channel. Maybe you should drop down there if that's what you want to talk about, or probably a server who just focuses on it. Because God forbid you hear about something that has nothing to do with your day-to-day life.
I was kind of hoping I could have that conversation with him because I find it curious that he thinks it doesn't affect his life, but it actually does directly affect his life. Maybe he just doesn't realize it. I'd be open to sort of having that conversation, but if not, that's fine.
No, he doesn't want to find out. He doesn't want to find out that it does have to do with his everyday life. That's why he gave the disclaimer.
I just said, yeah, I'm willing to learn something new. Or not.
Well, yeah, I don't. I mean, am I wasting my time here?
No, I mean, hey DJ, if you found out that you had been tricked into thinking that you live on a water ball flying through space, do you think that would have anything to do with anything? Would that matter to you?
I mean, not to mention the lies that surround that. Well, I'm sorry. I'll let you answer the question, bro. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're
I
breaking
can't
up.
hear you.
Bad satellite.
Okay, I took it off my car. Can you guys hear me better?
Yes,
Yeah, perfect.
loud and clear.
Now, if you
Oh, okay,
found out
cool.
that you had been tricked into thinking that you lived on a spinning, flying through outer space water ball, would that matter to you, DJ, or is that beneath you as well?
I don't know about beneath me. That's actually interesting for that. But yeah, it would matter because then there's a lot of things I learned in my past I need to relearn or change what I learned.
Okay, so it does matter whether or not the Earth is like what they say it is. That was a
I
quick change of heart.
Okay, I apologize. I must have misunderstood that. I took that as just what the shape of the Earth is.
You're the
But
one who brought it up.
when you put it in terms of if I was taught different the wrong thing, okay, now I understand what you're
No,
saying.
but that was your grand preface to the whole discussion.
Um,
The topic of the live stream doesn't matter to me, but I hear you guys talk about health. So it does matter to you after all. Thank you, DJ.
I'm not understanding how you're interpreting what I was saying.
Well, what were you saying? Maybe you could repeat it. You said it didn't matter to you. And then about 4 minutes later, I asked you, well, if you found out that you'd been tricked into, you were thinking you were living on a water ball, that all of a sudden mattered to you.
Because the way the question was phrased is in what I was taught. So I took it as what education. I didn't take it as the actual shape of the Earth itself, because then I'd have to question a few other things in order to get them right.
Okay. So let's clarify. You
Sure.
began the whole thing with saying, well, really, guys, it doesn't matter to my day to day life if what we live on is a ball or not. Is that not what you said?
Not like that. No, it was not like
Okay,
that.
well, okay, say it again then.
Okay, so the shape of the Earth doesn't really affect my day-to-day life because I don't do anything that revolves around needing to have or know
Okay,
the shape of the Earth,
got it.
like my
So
job or daily life.
if you found out that you were tricked into thinking that you were living on a water ball, would that matter to you? You said, yeah.
Yes, because now my education was wrong, so I have to go back and really question a few other things about my education.
Well, did you learn about the water during your schooling? Or have
Can
you
you
had
be
any
more specific?
experience with water out in the real world?
I mean, I used to live out the beach in California, if that's what you're.
Okay,
Because I don't
cool.
understand the question.
That's cool. The nature of water. Did you learn about
Like,
that in your education?
oh, you mean like viscosity and its makeup and whatnot?
All that good stuff.
I would say basic stuff then. Nothing like like heavy scientific, but just basic
Okay.
stuff. That's it.
Okay. Well, see, what they told us was we live on a water ball, but in reality, water does something the opposite that it would need to do if we were on a water ball.
Okay.
Was that covered in your education, or it probably wasn't even addressed, was it? The two were probably
Honestly, it's
never
been so
connected.
long.
Were
It's
the
been
two
so
ever
long.
connected?
Is whatever connected.
Was the ideology that we live on a water ball ever connected with water in general? All your viscosity
Um,
studies.
it was okay. I guess the easy way to answer that was I was told I lived on a spherical Earth. Yes.
Okay, were you also told, or have you also experienced that water in nature, what does it do?
Told wise, I don't remember because it's been long ago. What I've
Okay,
experienced
in real
is,
life,
and
at
what
the
I
pool,
experienced.
at your California
Good.
beach pool,
Good.
what
I'm
is the
sorry. Good.
surface
I
of that
apologize.
water now? DJ,
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, what is it? No, that's fine. What does the water do at the surface in your beach pool?
In my beach pool?
It evaporates.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how hot it
Okay.
gets. If it's depending on how hot it gets, it could evaporate. If it gets
No,
cold,
evaporation happens at any temperature.
Okay. Does it pain you to acknowledge that water seeks and finds level?
Yeah, but
I honestly don't understand what
only
that
if
means.
gravity exists.
One at a time, guys. Is that
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
controversial,
mean
DJ? DJ,
I'm
is
sorry.
that
I didn't mean to interrupt.
controversial?
Only if gravity exists. It couldn't find its level if gravity didn't exist.
So, DJ, did you want to combine those two things?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was interrupting, so I muted myself.
No, the other guy's trying to cope in real time. So we have water seeking and finding level, which you don't like to talk about. But they also told us we live on a water ball. Now, does that matter to you? The contradiction there, does that matter to you?
Actually, I'd never heard that before, so it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I actually never heard that.
That's my point. It wasn't covered in your schooling.
Okay, and that could be fair because I don't remember.
What does that contradiction do? How do you process that contradiction?
That water, I'm sorry, you said seeks its level? That's what you said?
Yeah, is that controversial?
No, it's just a statement to me. I mean, I'd have to learn more, but I don't find it a controversy.
Okay. And they also say we live on a water ball.
Okay.
So the contradiction there, how do you process that?
I can't process it without learning it because I never heard about water seeking its level, or at least I don't remember. So I'd have to learn more about it.
Oh, so you live under a rock.
Wow.
Okay. That's fine.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before, and I just found that fascinating. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'm so mad because I saw I was just reading something where water seeks its level. It had absolutely nothing to do with this conversation. I was like, oh wow, look at that, but I forgot to save it.
I hate that whenever you're like getting in good in like a book or something like that, or an article, accidentally close it, and you're like, dang it, where was that? That sucks.
So DJ, real quick, have you never heard the term, sea level?
Yes, I've heard this term sea level. Yes.
So I mean, where do you think that comes from?
If I remember correctly, isn't that like the different layers between how high, starting with the sea itself, how high above the water it goes and below the water it goes?
Okay, but why the sea? What is special about the water that's a good starting point? You see what I'm saying?
It's
What does water
level.
do?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
It's
What does,
level. That's why everybody knows that water at rest is level. It's not that hard, bro. Not to make you feel, just think about it. Water at rest is level. Bodies of water, I should say, because for whatever reason people think of raindrops. Bodies of water at rest are level. Like, you've seen a frozen pool before, a frozen lake
Frozen
before.
lake. Yeah, frozen lake.
The salt flats before, perhaps you've seen pictures or videos with perfect specular reflections, with the clouds being perfectly symmetrical with the reflection on the water, because it's
I've seen
level.
pictures of salt flats. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you having a hard time processing that now with the globe?
Not really, just because I got to sit down and read it first, so it's basically in the back of my head now.
What
What
in
is there to
regards
read?
to,
do you want to read?
I'm
What do you want to
sorry.
read?
Oh, okay. Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt. I
I'm
apologize.
sorry, Elijah. I'm not trying to step on you, bro.
No, we were both asking the same thing. It's like we just shared, well, what we got you to Imagine was an
Mhm.
experience. That's why I asked you, have you ever seen? What is there to read?
Whatever you guys were talking about, so that way I could learn further instead of just staying at what you guys just said and that's it.
Oh, you guys posted something about water seeking its own level?
No, we were just discussing it. We haven't posted anything. I mean, he seemed to be versed on, water, but then when we brought up it always finding level, he said he'd never heard of that before. So it's kind of where we're at now. We got started.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm versed on. I wouldn't say I'm versed on water. If anything, my education on it is very limited.
Please, I mean, look.
Have you ever seen
Check
it?
this out.
Have you ever
Check this
seen
out.
water?
Check this out. You know what an
Yes.
axiom is?
Okay. Let me be more specific. I am not scientifically adept when it comes to things about water. Basic stuff is about as much as I got. That's it.
It is as
What about
basic
the
as
viscosity?
but wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Sheesh.
That what we're saying is as basic as it gets because it's just an axiom.
Wait, I thought axioms were for philosophy.
We're describing. It's a description of something we've all experienced. There's nothing philosophical about that.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, it's as simple as it gets. When flat earthers have said the Earth is 70% of water, supposedly, so they say. You look up oceanic basin, they pretty much show you exactly what that looks like. The ocean is in a basin, just like all the other bodies of water. Um, we're like nothing to see here. They're like, no, it's actually more intricate than that. What do you, I mean, it's really simple. Now, we can get into really advanced topics, but starting with water, everyone knows what water is, but we have to walk people back from pseudoscience because they've been so far advanced in pseudoscience that we kind of have to walk them back. So, depending on how far into pseudoscience people are, we have to kind of pull those layers back to get them to realize actually it's as simple as you always thought.
But you do know like water finds its level because of gravity.
Call it gravity, call it what you want. What would that have to do with the earth being a sphere?
So first of all, like the water wouldn't go down if there wasn't gravity pulling it down.
Okay, so you didn't hear what I said? Call it gravity, call it what you want. What does that have to do with the sphere?
No, it has to do with the water levels.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with the sphere then.
But
What?
you just talked about water. I'm talking about the water too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you said it's level.
we're not in any contentious like odds right now. So what?
I mean, you said water is as basic as it gets, so I'm talking about water now.
Welcome to
Yeah.
flat Earth.
Welcome to Flat Earth, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
What?
I'm confused. I'm sorry. What was the guy trying to say? I'm totally confused. What did I miss something?
He's not saying
You're
anything
totally
other than
confused.
gravity is why water goes down. Okay, and
I don't know why you people seem so confused. You were talking about water 5 minutes ago. When I talk about water, suddenly I'm stupid.
no, we
No,
Because
you
talked.
said it
I
was
Well,
heard
level.
hold
him
on,
ask you.
time
Sorry.
out. Let me ask the other guy. Are we
Yeah,
going crazy or is he making the conversation spiral right now?
I'm sorry. Are you talking about me? Or are you talking about
Yeah,
old?
I'm asking you
Yeah,
your
you
assessment of
DJ.
what's going on right now. Do you think like because I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm speaking English to this guy. And I feel like what he's doing is causing the conversation to spiral. What do you think?
Oh no, I'm used to people bantering back and forth like this, so I just take y'all separately and just go piece by piece. I don't think y'all are crazy.
No. I don't think you understand.
No,
You heard what he
DJ.
said, right? And you heard
Yes.
my response to him.
Yes, I
I
heard your
feel like
response. Yeah.
I feel like what I'm saying to him is not effective. It's like he's acting like we're at odds when we're not.
Okay. I guess that's just a linguistic issue. We just got to find different ways to, or maybe better examples, because that would also help. Sorry, I
Was it
used to
No,
teach
it's
physics
not.
anatomy, so I would use.
linguistics? I didn't.
DJ, please.
I'm confused on how that was.
Oh, what's up?
He's the one who
Yeah, I don't.
said, "Listen, DJ, you
What's up?
guys are both confused." Okay, he's the one that's confused because he started his little pitter patter with the water's level because of gravity. Okay, so what do we have there? We have level water.
What?
Anytime that's acknowledged, it goes one ear out the other.
No, I never said water doesn't find its level. I said it because it
Yeah,
has
you
gravity.
said okay. Yeah, you said level water.
Yes.
Are you now are you? Is that controversial to you as well?
What? You were talking about how water finds its level. Therefore,
Does it?
what?
Does it or not?
What part of it is controversial?
Okay,
That's
so it's not
that's what we're
controversial.
saying.
So hold on. Water seeks and finds its level. Pick apart that language however you want, but we're told we live on a water ball. Do you see the
Yeah.
contradiction now? I don't care if you chant gravity. You
Where's the
start with
contradiction?
well, level and curved are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it still finds its level.
Welcome to flat
No,
Earth.
but that's
Again,
a non sequitur response because it doesn't follow. He said level and curve are
Because
diametrically opposed.
because I don't think I need to say this, but the Earth is very big. So when you have 2 cups of
No,
water, find its
I'm
level,
sorry, bro.
it seems flat.
That's another non sequitur.
That's another
Again,
non sequitur.
check in with
meaning
DJ again.
your response is not really following what he's saying. So
Bro,
he said,
why does every response I make suddenly like out of topic, bro? I just responding, bro.
yeah, but you're responding off topic though.
No, it isn't off topic. I'm responding to the argument, bro.
No, it's non sequitur because your your conclusion doesn't follow the premise.
It is. It does. Let me finish. So the Earth is very big, right? So when you have 2 cups of water, it looks like it's a flat line. Okay, now it finds its level. It doesn't mean the entire Earth is flat.
But again, level is horizontal.
Oh my goodness
Having no
gracious.
part having no part higher than another, that's what the definition means.
Yeah, but gravity, is like pulling it towards the center.
Oh, so you're saying level means equidistant with the center of a sphere. Well, guess what? This isn't a perfect sphere, supposedly,
I
because it's
know
an
it isn't.
oblate. So that means that that can't be true.
I know it isn't a perfect sphere.
So that means that the word level wouldn't even fit that. Because let's say you want to use the contradictory statement that a level is having no part higher than the other, but conforming to the surface of the earth. Well, if it's not a perfect circle, then you have different altitudes, thus
Yep, altitudes
not
exist.
being level.
Okay, that's the same thing I said before. The Earth is very big. It looks flat. You can have 2 cups of water. It still finds its level.
Yeah, but you're just
Doesn't mean
begging the
Regardless
question.
of how
But you're
big
but
it
you're
is,
just
it
but
still
you're just
curves,
begging
right?
the but you're just begging the question. You don't have any proof that it curves. We
I
all
mean,
know what bodies
we
of water
do, but
look
you're just
like.
gonna
They
say it's
look
fake.
well. Don't tell me what I would say. You haven't presented anything thus
I
far in
I
this
have
conversation.
not
No, you
okay, not
haven't.
in this conversation.
Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, do you want me to? But we're just gonna get into oh no,
No,
that's
we
fake. It's real.
absolutely want you to present. We absolutely want you to present
Either
any
you have
evidence.
proof of
What I
either
mean,
you have proof of the Earth's convexity by way of some sort
Paul,
of
I already
by
sent you
way
some
of
pictures
Okay, so why did you butt in? We were having a more productive conversation with the guy who said it doesn't matter.
because I want to debate too.
well, we're not
Well, you're
trying to
not
debate.
debating.
There's
You're
nothing to
not
debate.
debating right now, friend.
Oh, this isn't a
You're
debate.
applying circular reasoning and you're saying you're apparently you think debating is saying something and it being so. Level is curved because the Earth is big.
Hey, do you guys want me to share? I forgot he did send me his proof. Do you guys want me to share it with you in the live stream? You guys are gonna love this. And I asked him, by the way, I said, okay, now you presented this as proof. Now verify this evidence. Verify it to be true. And
I didn't take the picture, bro. I'm not like, I know you think the Earth is flat, but I'm not asking you to take a picture of the Earth right
I
now.
don't think anything.
I know
don't
you
think
can't take
anything.
a
No,
picture.
no, 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 no. Don't listen. You don't know me. You don't know my position. I don't
What?
think or believe anything. Okay, so
You
don't
don't?
even start with that.
What?
I know. All right, and you posted these pictures as you gave me this and said this is your evidence of your claim.
Yes, it
But now
is.
you just said you didn't even take the pictures yourself.
Yes, it is. I don't need to take
So
the picture myself to have evidence.
All right, I'll put these in the. Bear with me, guys. I'm on my phone, so
You already put them. So.
Well, I'm gonna put them again for the new folks. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's pretty alright. I do say so myself.
Okay, yeah, cute.
See one of y'all hopping out the truck and jump on start twerking. That'll be a
So DJ, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just muted while you guys were going.
How do you feel about this conversation now?
Feel nothing really towards it. Thinking about it, I guess I'd have to look at both sides again. More towards y'all's side to really think about what you guys mean by level.
Well, we just mean level is okay. So let's read the definition.
Okay, here's one of his proofs. I just posted it. Sorry.
So, level, even, flat, not having one part higher than another, having no inequalities. Now, the point that I made to him about it not being a perfect sphere, if he were to say that level was equidistant from the center, that would contradict this definition. So you have worldviews that contradict what we experience, if you're to believe that. Continuing on.
Is that to me?
Continuing on. Parallel with the free surface of a liquid at rest as a level surface, horizontal, not ascending or descending. So guess what? As I'm standing at one singular point in space, right? If I live on a sphere, guess what? The ground is doing what? Descending the further away from me a point gets. Okay? So that would be contradictory to this definition. Now, people have worldviews where they try to imagine how these words fit into their worldview, but they just beg the question, well, it's a sphere and this is what that means. Well, what's the evidence other than you begging the question or assuming that it's a sphere? Because level is fine on its own without any extra additives. Everyone knows what level means. Level means what it means.
Okay,
Even,
now.
width of the same height or on the same line or plane with something else.
Okay, now.
Hey,
Just hold on a
DJ.
second. Let the yeah, just chill out, bro.
Oh, I'm listening. So if he wants to interject,
Hey,
that's
DJ.
fine.
Okay,
I
I have a
wasn't talking to
question
you.
for you.
I wasn't talking to you, DJ.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
talking to
okay.
that guy. Hey, DJ.
What's up?
Did you when you said what you guys mean by level? Did you intentionally say that, or
Yeah, like the two individuals talking.
Yeah,
okay? So
what I mean by level is how
what
it's
do you?
defined.
Yeah, what do you know of level, DJ? I mean, what was covered in your education?
Yeah, it's not. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'm not
Wait.
gonna hold on real quick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you're trying to like come at me, or if you're actually asking me a question, especially
No,
with the way
that's a
you're
No,
that's
no,
a
no, 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 no.
legitimate
verbalizing it.
question, and I'll tell
That's
you
No.
just
why. That's a legitimate
oh,
question, and I'll tell you why. Because you're in a frame of
okay.
you're in this mindset where you think we define things differently. No, words are defined as per everyone's experience on Earth. We don't have different definitions for things. We don't have religious assertions for things. That's not how this works. We use the definitions. When we talk about the scientific method, we're talking about that specific epistemology, not a flat earther's version. Never. That's why the Globers hate us so much, because they say they have science and we say, okay, what's the natural phenomena observed? Because guess what? What the earth is a what is question. That would be a geometry related discussion, not a scientific discussion. Me as a flat earther knows that. Globe earthers, well, not so much. So when you say I'm just trying to get you guys' view, no, we're just using definitions the way that they are. That's all we're doing. I don't know what I don't know what would I don't know. It seems like, well, you're just gonna have to have more experience with us to understand that that truly is what it is, because it's hard to accept at first. So he doesn't mean
And
anything when he asks you what do you think level is in school or whatever it is, like, because he's basically trying to get you to understand that what we're talking about is no different than what we were all taught. We were just taught contradictions beside that, things that maybe you haven't gone back and thought about since then. We're just trying to point these things out.
And that's understandable, especially with the way you're presenting it. And it has nothing to do with the words specifically themselves. It's just the way that it's presenting it. So as you put it, Elijah, very eloquently put, yes, you're trying to make sure that we're on the same page, especially so this way you know that we're not trying to, nobody's trying to hide behind different words or, basically do a shell game on each other. It's just the way
Right.
it was
The true
presented by the
Socratic
other
method,
individual
yeah.
was more the way it was presented by the other individual was more of a, hey, you're stupid and I'm going to show you how you're stupid. And that's the perception I'm getting. I'm trying to understand the reality of it instead of the perception.
The
I think it's
people who
just passion, and it
the
comes
people,
off sometimes as sort of aggressive. I'm sorry, I'll let you speak for yourself,
no,
bro.
no, no,
I
Yeah,
didn't know
my
you were
that's
bad,
still
fine.
bro.
here.
No,
I
dude,
did
it's fine.
cut in a couple of times. I'm gonna go on mute and let you guys also get in, because I did kind of interrupt there.
No, go ahead.
You're good, Elijah.
Other, Jesus, I'm drawing a blank. Um, yeah, Paul V, say what you're going to say, because I blanked. Oh,
Um,
what I was
Maybe I'll be
saying
like,
was,
oh, okay. He was
the,
talking about your demeanor and like how you presented it, and I just wanted to tell him, some people are passionate and they really project their voice when they talk about something that they care about, and it can be perceived as being aggressive, and it really isn't at all. Nobody here wants to trick you or confuse you or force you to believe anything. Okay, this is just a
yeah.
conversation.
And
We
when's the
want
last time you had it? When's
you
the
to
last time
be
you
able
fell?
to understand.
No, when's the last time anyone fell for a shell game where the guy was yelling at you? But what I was trying to say was, we're not the ones. I hate to say we. I'm not the ones when I say level who's filtering everything I say measuredly and making sure it goes back to something that I can still rationalize the globe. When I'm talking about water, I'm remembering being at the pool. You act like it's some wild. So the other guy, everyone has a trouble with this word level, because now that we've been faced with this idea that the Earth might not be the water ball they showed us on TV, no one likes to talk about reality. We're not the ones filtering everything we say to make sure we don't say anything. There are no gotchas coming our way. So if you want to walk on eggshells, you're the one who came in here kind of passive aggressively saying, "Oh, I just want to talk about food." and working out, and this doesn't matter to me. So
as a Bronx guy myself, I completely
sorry,
understand.
DJ. I'll try more dulcet tones for you.
I'm from the Brooklyn. The Brooklyn. I'm from
Oh,
Brooklyn, bro.
Brooklyn. No, I feel like no. As a Bronx guy myself, I completely understand in regards to aggressive tone and whatnot. That's why I do the best I can to be as neutral as possible whenever I talk to people, because I know that when I do speak, sometimes I come out in a very condescending and a very harsh tone. So I do understand. That's why I'm not blaming you. I'm only talking about the perception, and that's it. And then I take a step back. I do understand. You're just trying to understand. You're trying to get what I understand to see if you can correct what you need, what should be corrected, and that's fine.
Okay,
That's
so
completely
okay, that's
understandable.
fine.
In
Fine, great.
regard, okay,
So
in regards to
when
what
you
you said, I apologize. I apologize. Go ahead.
no, I'm just trying to get it back to where we derailed. When you
Right.
said, "Oh, I need to learn more about what you guys consider level," or how yeah, I'm kind of puffing it up, but you made this distinction on purpose. I asked you, and what I'm saying is, we're not the ones tap dancing around the word level. That's all.
Small correction on that. It was more of a. I'm just trying to understand what you guys are saying, so I understand you and not something else. I don't want to misinterpret what you guys are saying. I'm not
So
saying
what
you're
do
saying something wrong. I'm just making sure that I can keep up with the conversation because you guys are more versed at this than I am.
Okay. Do you see a do you think? I'll just ask you: is a curved surface and a level surface, can that be the same?
I mean, if
Are
you
they
put a level on
different?
a
Are
basketball,
curved
maybe.
surfaces and level surfaces different?
I'm sorry. Say it one more time, please.
Are curved surfaces and flat and level surfaces, are they different? Is there?
Yes, they are different because not all flat things are level. Like a shelf when you tilt a shelf, because you can still have a flat shelf,
Okay,
but it's
that's
not
a
level.
tilted shelf, but the board itself is flat as opposed to
Yes.
curved. I'm not talking about a warped board. Not talking about a tilted shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said I have to figure out what you guys are talking about level, do you see a difference between level and curved?
Yes, because it's how do I explain it? Because and the first thing that came to mind when you guys said that was like putting a level on a basketball.
Yeah, but that bubble is level to earth, not to the basket.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I'm confused about that. Can you elaborate, please?
Well, why don't you explain your level in the basketball thing further first? Because it's pretty.
Sure. If I put a level on a basketball, and I get it right where the bubble is, right in the middle, to as well as it's not going up and down or anything like that, it shows that that piece of that basketball is where that it's resting on is level.
That's
Like
bullshit. You're
it's
just
Yeah, well,
balancing.
actually, that's because it's balanced on the ball, but it's not the ball that's level with. It's the horizontal plane we live on that it's balanced with.
okay. And that's
Or
just
if
I
if you
misinterpreted
can't
that then.
if you can't accept that right now, that's fine. But you are balancing it on a basketball, but you understand that the ball has no bearing on what the bubble is doing. It's you leveling it, right? Leveling it with what? You remove the basketball, that bubble is still going to be level. Level with what? With the earth. Now, someone has implanted an idea that this earth is big enough, the fact that because of gravity and all of these other moving parts, uh, that level would be at a specific, like wherever you're standing. But again, if we're to uncover whether or not we're being deceived, it'd be best not to take that for granted because we know what a level surface is. Like when you hang a picture that picture frame is flat, you know that's a flat and level surface. When it comes to the earth, we're not saying that that's a flat and level surface. in the sense that we know it has hills and valleys, but when you look at the elevation profile on Google, 0 being sea level, being level is just flat. There's no curve there.
Like
So
I would also add
along a
Elijah.
long distance, sorry, just saying that along a long distance, overall, it's just a flat plane. It's a level plane. It's a level surface. That's why we talk about water at rest, because unlike on land where you can have, hills, valleys, things like that, with water, that's not a problem because it's just level.
Okay, I can kind of see what you're saying. Then, make sure I understand. Let me make sure I understand this correctly. So, if I'm building like a back patio or something like that, and I put it on the concrete and whatnot, it's
Mhm.
not it's not the foundation that's level, but it's the ground that's level. Is that it? So what I'm actually
No,
measuring is not the
you're
concrete.
creating a level with the horizontal, which means if you had nothing in the background and you can see the horizon, like unobstructed, it would be horizontal with that. Because overall, we live on a horizontal plane. So it wouldn't be level with the uneven ground. You would be creating a level because that's the nature of where we live.
And like if
Now
you were
you have,
building a patio, I was gonna say real quick, if you're building a patio and you made the concrete curve, would that be level?
No, the concrete itself would not be level. No.
right,
That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Elijah.
right. So what I'm trying to get you to see is the part that's taken for granted is that a surface big enough, mean, only, as a matter of fact, the only example is the sphere Earth, if you believe it. It's like, well, that can be level and curved. But that's the part that we take for granted because we don't know that. That's just something that's said. In math, you can kind of show that by keeping a constant, right, along the axis as it's curving. But that's not proven. That's taken for granted. So how do we know that the surface is actually curved?
Okay. So going back to the patio example, then that means no matter where I put that level on top of that patio with the curved surface, I will never find a level piece whatsoever. Same thing with a basketball.
Say again.
Going back to the example that somebody else said, even with the patio, and I'm combining it with the basketball example, no matter where I put that level on those surfaces, I will never find a level surface on there.
Well, it's sort of
You're
a mind trap because you know for sure that unless you put it perfectly level on top of it, and that would have to be level with the actual Earth, you would drop a plumb line maybe, or you would use a bubble. Whatever you would do, it would be in relation to the Earth. But for you to imagine it not being level on the earth is just another mind trap. That's not something that you can actually test because then you would take it, put it on a ball, and go, okay, so that's what you're saying. If I were here on the earth, then it wouldn't be level. But everywhere on the earth, level is just level. The question is whether it's a sphere or not. Because since level is going to be level no matter where you are, being a sphere is something you can take for granted quite easily. So again, the question would be, how do we figure out if it's curved or not?
Yeah, and how many basketballs have you seen, DJ, with flat spots on them?
No, it doesn't. It
You
doesn't
used to
matter
work at
because
the
at the bottom,
YMCA.
if the
Okay,
side
well,
of a basketball, if the side of a basketball had a flat spot for some reason, it wouldn't matter because in the mind when you're trying to figure this out, it and you put the bubble over there on the earth though. right? You're putting it on the basketball with a flat side
No,
for
I know.
whatever reason.
I'm
It's
just
flat
when
side.
he said
It's not going
when
to
he
work.
talked
It's
about
just more mind traps.
yeah, but when he said when he talked about the curved patio and the basketball, he seemed confused. He goes, "You're telling me I'm not going to find any flat spots on this thing?"
Well, yeah,
Well, no, it's
we
curved.
already know that because everyone thinks that the part that we stand on is locally flat, but it's
Everywhere else is a ball.
but on a macro scale, it's curved. That's what everyone thinks. I'm
Okay.
saying I'm saying that's just been taken for granted. How do we prove that?
Okay. Just a small correction of what the other gentleman said earlier. It's not that I'm saying that I'll never find a flat spot. I was asking if I'll never find a level spot.
Oh, so you're in the camp that wants to say level is curved. You think level means equidistant from the center of a sphere, the basketball, or so if we have a basketball and we have all points equidistant from the center of this basketball, you're telling me that those points are all level with each other. Is that what you're? I'll steel man you. Is that what you're getting at?
I'm sorry, I don't know what equidistant means. So can you help me with that, please?
Equally distant.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Equally. Well,
You said
Meaning,
because you
meaning,
insisted that
meaning,
they're level.
meaning, if you're here, or if you're in the Bronx and you put up a level
yeah.
at 5 foot above, sea level, and then you
Mhm.
go to Brooklyn and you put it up 5 foot above sea level, in your mind, theoretically, even though these points aren't parallel to each other, they're both equally 5 foot above sea level.
Well, he wanted
Well,
to
let me see if you know. Let me
clarify his
see if that's
question
what
about
he's
his
thinking.
yeah
Let's.
he asked about the curved patio and the
We
curved
already
basketball,
know,
and he goes,
bro. That's why we've been
okay,
going.
okay, okay.
We've been past that. We're like
But he wants
15
to
minutes past
interchange
that.
level, and he wants to
He
insert
doesn't
level
want
means
to.
curve.
He's trying to
He
figure
has
out.
to.
He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out why it's not what we've all thought for the last 30 plus years, however old we are. I'm just going to go with my age and above. He's just trying to figure out why it's any different than what we've all been thinking. I'm trying to help him with that.
Get it? He seems to know when to correct his language too, though. So I'll shut
Yeah,
up.
we all did. So what I mean,
No.
serious,
I'm
man.
just addressing it right now because he's okay. The curved patio and the basketball. Do you think you'll find level spots on those, DJ?
That doesn't even make
That's what I'm
sense. It's
confused
not
about
even a
now.
That's what
question.
he asked.
Right,
No,
and
it's
that's what
not
I'm
what he
confused about.
asked. It's not what he asked.
Yeah,
He was
he
asking
said
about the
he
he was asking about
originally
the
he said
patio. Before that, the other guy spoke up the basketball, and you're just like throwing both at him.
yeah. No. Hold on. I'll shut up after if I fail at wrapping this up. DJ wrapped it up. He said in this curved patio and on the basketball, are you telling me I'm not going to find a flat surface? And then he corrected himself and he goes, I meant to say a level surface. He's the one who asked us.
And I answered him 15 minutes ago.
Right, and I gave a
Okay, so
correction. If I didn't use flat, I used level.
is flat and level not the same thing when we're talking about describing
Were
a
you not here
basketball?
15 minutes ago when I addressed this?
Yeah, I know, but okay, GJ, I'll shut up. I
I
just
mean, for real. It's
I'm
like
here.
you just want to
I'm
argue
sitting.
to argue or what?
No, bro, I'm not. I'm not
Holster,
trying to
holster the
argue.
guns, bro.
I'm trying to clarify.
I'll put it
Holster
like
the
I'm
this.
trying to
pistols.
clarify, Elijah.
I'll put it like this. Apparently, I've started a problem, so I'm gonna go
No,
ahead and
bro.
excuse myself.
Oh, yeah, he was
And
looking for his excuse.
No.
I was trying to clarify.
No, you're fucking it up. Like
okay,
like
yeah, I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. I'm gonna excuse myself.
Listen to
No,
this
no,
guy.
hold
No,
on.
don't leave,
If
dude.
I
If
insulted
you back
you,
out, you're
so
Don't
backing
leave
out
yet.
for
He
just to
gets to
back out.
blame me. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't
no,
want to
I'm
learn
not
better.
trying
Bro,
to
don't.
blame
I'll
you.
I'll 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 be quiet and listen to
please
your.
please
I'll
please
listen.
do that. Please.
Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
trying to cause
don't
problems.
go.
I do apologize.
No, it's
No,
not a
no, you're fine.
problem. It's not a
No, I'm
problem.
fine.
You're not the problem. We're here for you. Really, honestly. I don't want to talk to these guys. I want to talk to people who uh come here trying to figure out what the hell is going on and why people think the earth is flat in 2023. That's why we're here. Clearly, you came in here the same way we all came to this conversation, right? So it's like, I just don't appreciate when people act like, oh my God, you think it's a globe? That's great. So you're telling me it's a globe?
No,
Like,
time out.
there's no reason for any of that.
Elijah,
Yeah,
he
Elijah, he
entered
was
in.
actually. Yeah,
He,
I'm sorry. You
he
go ahead.
entered in saying this doesn't matter. Okay,
So what?
that was his in. Oh,
That's
well,
what
I'm just saying that was his
some of us
preface.
have all said. Who
Well,
cares?
he came here because he was told that we talk about other topics. That it's not all about flat Earth, and he was
Yeah,
hoping
dude.
to talk about
Let's not
something
derail
else.
this. Let's not. I apologize
Yeah, I'm just
for
want to
for
put that out there.
clarifying,
So
but DJ, all
yeah,
I was doing was clarifying. I was trying to wrap up all these different examples into one that you seem to be wrapped up. You seem to wrap them up, and I just was trying to clarify.
Oh, understandable. I
Yeah,
think we're back on the
because
same page, and I appreciate you.
okay, so let's just rewind. When you said what you guys are talking about when you say level, so is it? Do you now realize that
Answer
we're
that question,
you and
bro.
I and everyone else is both we're talking about the same thing when it comes to level?
I thought I did, but now I feel like what I've possibly learned in the past, or even what I read in the dictionary, might actually be wrong. So I'm trying to take this back to the drawing board to understand what you guys are talking about without
Are,
making assumptions. That's why I'm
are you
asking the questions I do.
are you busy?
I mean, I was just going to go work out, but I could sit back in the car for a little bit longer.
Oh man. So all I was gonna say is the definition of level is exactly as I read it to you, except in only one dictionary under
Okay.
adjective. So every other dictionary, everywhere else, the definition of level is exactly as we described it. The
Okay.
only other definition of level is in where Webster's Merriam-Webster's dictionary, and that definition contradicts itself because it says having no part higher than another, conforming to the curved surface of the earth. Those two things are in contradiction to one another. That's how this conversation started. That's why he asked you, do you think that level, a level surface and a curved surface is the same thing?
Yes, and that's where I started getting more confused of trying to understand what you guys are saying. Because then I started thinking about the shelf, I started thinking about a basketball, and the other gentleman brought up a patio. And that, mind you, I'm trying to think about things that I've interacted with. So it's like, wait a minute, I have been that bored dude that put a level on a basketball, and I have built a patio before, and I'm trying to think of all these things because it sounds like I need to start relying more on experience and not so much what other people are saying
Yes,
in a
because your
sense.
experience is that if you put the level on top of a basketball, it's not the basketball, it's just you finding a level that's parallel with the surface of the earth or the plane of the earth. That's all you're doing. It's not the basketball. You remove the basketball, the bubble is still where it's at because you're standing on the earth. So the only thing that could be taken for granted is that well, the surface of the earth is curved, but it's massive, so right here it's flat. That's the only thing that's taken for granted. Might you think that and believe that? Yeah, but how do you know that? That's why I keep going back to that. Because it's like I already know that's what people think. But again, I'm just trying to point out that that's the part that's taken for granted because we all know what level is.
Okay,
And we all took that for granted. We all took that for granted, just so you know, until we
and
decided to look at it.
I guess that's another thing that now raises another question because I don't know what you mean by take it for granted. Because now when I think about the bookshelf again, I'm even more confused because okay, the bookshelf is not level, but it's also flat. So now I'm like, okay,
Why is the bookshelf not level?
because of the way it's tilted.
If it's
yeah, it's just
tilted, then
tilted
it's
though.
not level.
The surface of the shelf is level. You just tilted it.
So even if I
No,
take a
it no.
this is
If you tilt
interesting.
it, it's not level. I don't get what. Look, bro. I don't care if it's a bookshelf, a basketball, a patio. The thing that you need to reference to create a level is the earth. So when I say that you take the earth for granted, when you think of level and someone says, well, it's a sphere, then you're going to find a way to reason that level is curved. And that's the thing that you just take on faith without knowing that it actually is curved.
Ah, I see where now I'm understanding a little bit more what you're specifically saying. So it's interesting because I don't even think about the earth at all when it comes to measuring like a shelf or something like that, which now I understand what you mean by take for granted. So how do I know that that level is exact then? How do I know that that level is level?
Because it's level with the earth.
Right. Now, how do I verify that level then? Because if that's the case and what I'm understanding about surfaces
A
is
bubble
wrong.
or a plumb bob.
Oh, is that the
Or the
the the,
horizon.
the
The same way you figure out how to level a bookshelf or how to level a picture frame, it's because level is going to be horizontal on all levels. I don't care if you're in the basement. I don't care if you're uh, 20 stories in the sky. I don't care if you're
Mhm.
down the block. All levels are horizontal and parallel to one another. Now, if you live on a sphere, the statement I just made isn't true. The thing, though, is if you live on a sphere, again, something you would have to take for granted because we all know what level means, but it doesn't mean exactly what level means if you assume that the earth is a sphere. Then level is something different. It means that all horizontals aren't parallel. But that's a big problem when it comes to navigation and other kinds of things. So that we don't have to get into that just now because I know you got to have your workout or whatever. But level is just level. How do you know something is level? Because you're leveling it with a leveling, maybe a bubble or maybe, like I said, something like that.
Okay, and I understand that for the surfaces you're talking about, but the actual device itself, and if I'm understanding correctly, I would need another device in order to make sure that like the level itself is actually correct. So, like you
Well,
had mentioned, a
you've
plumb
used
bob.
you've used like a bubble level, right?
Yes, and that's specifically what I'm talking about.
But
Thank you.
you don't have to calibrate. It's a bubble because why it's using water. That's why we
Uh-huh.
say water at rest is level. That's the whole point.
Okay, I feel you on that one. Okay, so
You
and
no,
then
look,
and
look,
that
look.
okay,
You
that
can have
puts
a
me in a better direction.
you can have a curved anything. You could live on a hill where the guys that created the foundation fucked the level up or whatever. So if you put your bottle of water down and the bottle is tilted, guess
Right.
what? You're gonna know because of the water inside the bottle because the water is going to be level.
Right. And then in that case, that means the earth underneath the foundation is not level, not the foundation itself.
Say again.
So that means that
Right,
regardless of
right,
what's in
right,
between
right,
the level
right.
and the
Yes,
earth,
yes.
it's going
Correct.
to be that the earth is not level, not the foundation.
Correct.
Okay,
Because
got it.
you want to level the foundation because the earth is not going to be level. Like it's so many different. I mean, we live on a fucking island, bro. like, like Manhattan is an
Yeah, I
island.
feel
Like you know,
I
like
feel No,
so
I got you. I got
the
you.
only
So
way
that
to create
okay,
level is if level actually existed, which it does. Regardless of what the surface of the concrete or the dirt is doing, we know that level is parallel with the horizon. That's why we
got
use
you.
water.
So so it doesn't matter what's in between the level itself, no matter what I put that level on, that's irrelevant. It's always going to be the actual earth itself. That's it.
Yes.
Wait, I have a question.
Well, hold on. Can we pause this question because he's got to go, and so I just want to finish. I want to finish this conversation with
Okay,
him. I don't
okay,
want to.
sure.
I can kind of like bring things into a little bit quicker focus. So if you had a bathtub full of water, DJ,
Yep.
when that water is at rest, would you say that the surface of that water is level?
Uh, Wait, no, because it'd be in a bathtub, and it'd be the earth that's level, not the bathtub or the water, because the
Well,
water's not
well,
on the
well,
earth.
water
That's
will always
incorrect.
seek its flatness. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's incorrect. The water is
I'm so
level. The
confused
tub
now.
is not. I just explained it with the water bottle.
Right, and then that's why I'm confused because that's why I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. If no matter what, no matter what's in between the level or the thing that's used as a level or the earth itself, you're not measuring the thing that's in between. You're measuring the earth itself. That's why I'm like, wait a minute, okay. So if I put it on a
N-
patio, I put it on a basketball, or even if I
Not
put it
the
on
earth.
floating on top of the
Not
water,
the earth, because the earth is uneven. Not the earth, but the one substance we know. Matter of fact, liquid at rest is level. That's what
mm,
we know. Doesn't matter what you put it in. Doesn't matter what you put it on top of. As a matter of fact, this is how people lay the foundation of houses on top of hills that are uneven, because the level is good. The level of the surface of the water, whatever liquid they're using, when they create a square, if there are any uneven parts, you're going to see it because of the water, because the water is always level.
gotcha. Okay.
Right. Remember, DJ? That's why I asked you if you've ever heard of sea level before. The term sea level.
Yes. And I'm glad
That
you said that because that's exactly what came to mind. And then I tried putting two to two together. Like, oh, okay, wait a minute. If it's not level with the earth, oh, I'm sorry, with sea level, then it doesn't matter what's in between. That is where it has to be level. So if it's in a bathtub, well, the water in the bathtub's not in the sea, so that's not going to be level.
No, it's but the horizontal and the level is parallel with with the level of the sea. It's not on the same.
Oh,
It's not on the same elevation, but it's still parallel to one another. The water that I'm holding right now on my 7-story building is perfectly parallel to the water at sea level.
right. And if I had like some sort of floating level, that'd be actually dope if I could find one like that. Then I can show that water is level.
Hmm.
So wait, no, I just confused myself because now I'm like, okay, what if I put that on a basketball now?
The water's still going to be level.
Okay, I'm understanding what you're
Wait, so
saying.
is the moon
I'm
like part of
understanding
the foundation?
I'm understanding this better.
I'm going to show you right now. Check this out. I'm
Okay.
going to give you 2 screenshots.
Are you talking
Okay?
about in the live stream chat?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Oh damn.
Wait, I didn't send it yet, so I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that one? All right, because that's curved. I don't know about you. I don't care what you say. That's curved.
Now, when I said oceanic basin, that's because that's the way they do. That's the look. This shit is everywhere. I mean, if you look at Disney things, and now we're getting like off track. But if you look at Disney, and you look at Aladdin, the first Aladdin, the cartoon version, when Jafar becomes a sorcerer, he sends Aladdin. He banishes him to the ends of the earth, where he's sitting on an ice shelf. Not that we believe anything about any ice shelves or anything like that. I'm just saying there's a lot of shit that's just out there like when you talk about the earth being a globe or you invoke a globe, that's the only time that it comes up.
Okay.
Everywhere else, when things are being explained, it has nothing to do with a globe or a curve or this or that, because when we're talking about GPS, even those require elevation angles, which require a horizontal plane, which has nothing to do with the Earth curving. Now they're going to input images of a curved Earth somewhere eventually because that's what they want people to believe. But again, when you're not talking about the Earth, then the Earth really, like the sphere, has nothing to do with our day to day. That's why most people don't care, because the globe really has no impact on our life whatsoever because it's not real. So if you look into the chat and you see what I screenshot, obviously these aren't actual pictures, but on Google, when for trying to depict what the ocean looks like, you have the ridges, you have the abyssal plains, which make up like 2/3 of the oceanic floor. Mind you, floors are level. Once again, what they're showing you right here is what they mean by level. You can see it. They didn't even try from continent to continent. They didn't even try to make it look curved
Okay.
because that's just what it is. It's level on one continent, and it's at the other side of the continent. It's the same. The sea level is exactly on the same horizontal plane. That's
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
Do you see what I posted?
Yeah, with the features of the ocean basin and ocean basin images.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. Well, the ocean chapter 11 Webley. Okay, cool.
We have a question, guys. Right. So, is the moon like part of the foundation? Does it like go under the foundation,
How would it
or
be a
does it like
how would it be a
disappear?
part
Does it
of
like
it?
disappear in
What
the
does that
sky
mean?
because of the atmospheric lensing or whatever?
Can you rephrase your question? I don't know what that means because
Like
the
basically,
Earth is the Earth. Obviously, we can all see the moon up there above where we're standing, so it can't be a part of the Earth.
yeah, but how does it disappear over the horizon? So is it atmospheric lensing, or is it like the laws of
Well,
perspective?
is the horizon physical or is it an optical effect? Because optics have minimums.
Because I heard a theory from you guys that
Not a
because of
theory. I literally
all the
asked you a
water in
question.
the atmosphere,
Not a theory. I
it,
literally asked you a question. It's going to become very contentious if you. I mean, my answer was tailored to what you said. If you don't respond to what I said in kind, it seems and feels disrespectful because I'm answering you directly
no, I
and
mean no
you're just moving
disrespect.
on. So then answer what I said then directly.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. If you assume that the horizon is a physical thing,
No, I asked
if you,
you that. I asked you if you think the horizon is physically Earth curve
well,
obstructing
I
everything
don't
else.
know. That's why I'm asking the question. I'm here to learn from you guys,
Well,
because so you
I
guys know.
asked you because you said, right? Because in your question, there was already a premise stuck in there. There was already a, what do you call it? What do you call it? Uh, uh, anyway, within your question, it was already assumed that the moon was going somewhere. So you're asking what happens when it goes, is it going below the horizon? Is it a part of the, and what I'm trying to get you to understand is, well, first of all, do you think it's optical or do you think it's physical? Because if you understood that it was optical, then this wouldn't be a tough question. Because you know that optics have minimums, and that's what the horizon is. It's a minimum, which your eye can resolve. Guess what? That's why when you take other optics like binoculars, that minimum expands and you can see more because the angle
Yeah. So
of your view
basically,
is increased.
so like if an object is getting closer to the horizon or further away from you, it becomes bigger, right? So why doesn't the moon become bigger if it crosses the horizon?
Well, it does appear
And
bigger
it's
here. Why? What difference does it make? We see what we see. When the
well,
moon is
that's the
next to
thing.
the horizon, it looks bigger. When the
It
sun
doesn't.
is next to the horizon, it looks bigger. Even though
Well, no, it doesn't. It's because
um,
of
if you actually use a filter, then it actually just gets smaller and disappears uh, before it ever touches the horizon. So that's why the moon disappears long before it touches the horizon most times because its light isn't as piercing as the sun's light. That's why you can see it high in the sky, 20 degrees in the sky, and then boop, it's gone. Can't see it anymore.
Okay, I can get by that. Do you think the moon is like? Because I saw a lot of pictures from you guys that you have like pictures of stars that like pierce through the dark side of the moon, and you can see that in flags like the flag of
Does
Turkey,
someone,
for example.
when you say you
Yeah,
guys, did
Have,
someone
excuse
in
me,
here post
real quick,
it?
bro.
Who
Salty,
posted
you're
that?
hot micing, bro.
yeah,
Salty.
yeah.
Should I just mute him?
Yeah, yeah.
What? Hello?
Hold on real quick.
Salty,
We're
you
gonna
there?
just solve this problem real quick. Well, that's Salty that's talking, I guess. Nope, but
Well,
that's not him. He's not
Yeah, that's not
creating.
him.
He's not creating that
that's some other
sound.
guy who stepped in.
Michael, is that you? What's up, Michael? I think that's
If you
you.
have a question, then I can,
No, what the fuck? It's not him either.
Nope, it's not Michael. Mm. Wait, somebody just muted it.
no, it's fine.
What the hell? Wait, maybe it is Michael. Hold on. Let me try it again.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's gone.
Let's move on.
It's gone. Wait, nope, no, it's what the
It's gone. Okay. Yeah. So, um, what you saying now?
It's about the pictures that basically contain a star
Did any of us post
piercing
this?
through. I saw it on like Eric Dubé's channel.
Oh, right. So check this out. One thing
Yeah.
that I don't like is bigotry. Not saying that you're a bigot, but people have to understand certain terms and definitions when they come in here. One of those is bigot and bigotry. Because people think to label us as flat earthers, and then they think that we think what they think that all other flat earthers think. And that is definitely just nothing but bigotry. We're in a conversation. Let's just deal with the things that we think in here because we're here to speak for ourselves. See what I'm saying?
Okay. So I shouldn't quote any other flat earthers that aren't on the like list of accepted people that
Not
like.
accepted people. I can't
I
speak for
mean,
Eric today. That's all I'm saying. I can't speak for other flat
so like
earthers either,
everybody.
can I?
So everybody has a different theory then.
Well, everybody
Like.
knows that water is level at rest. Everybody knows it's a horizontal plane. Everything else beyond that is speculation. So everybody who speculates would speculate something different, just like there's over 100 different cosmologies right now in university about how space came about. So it's not just us with different ideas, different theories. It's everyone because they always like to speculate about things that they don't know definitively. That's just how humans are. But when it comes to the nature of Earth and its horizontalness, that's something that everyone understands because you and I and every other flat earther and every other globe earther also experiences.
I mean, one like fundamental thing that I'm trying to like decode or crack is the fact that it's not just NASA. It's like there's NASA, there's the European Space Agency, there's the Russian Space Agency, there's like the Indian Space Agency, Chinese, Japanese.
Yeah, they all get their
So
they all get
so
their data
so
from one
are
singular
like
point.
controlled by the
They all
Illuminati,
get
the
they all
Rockefellers,
get their data.
the Freemasons, and they're all just like
They
smoke and
all get their
water.
data from a singular point.
So they all
That's not
they all
even
get their data from NASA.
that's not hidden knowledge though, bro. Just so you know. That's not like something that Eli is just saying. Like that's
Well, I
just
know that when I look at Google Earth, I am looking at NASA images that are, just
what
glued
is this
together
what does that
from
have to do with
satellites.
what does that have to do with the ground? Like I don't really care about satellites or NASA or JAXA or any of the European space so-called space
Well, I mean, if every like space agency is investing probably millions, I mean, I don't know if it's just money laundering or something like that, but they're like investing into rockets that they send up into space, and they record them going to space. So you're telling me that's just all a hoax to push some ideology that we're on a globe, and that they're
Yeah, but
trying to hide the
we're not
fact.
really concerned with that because that's just a rabbit chase. Like I said, regardless of one agency, 1,000 agencies, doesn't really matter. Anyone claiming that the vacuum of space, now, hear my words carefully, the vacuum of space is real,
Yeah, yeah.
they're just mistaken. They're just telling people false things. Why? How do I know? Because the vacuum of space is a second law of thermodynamics violation. Nothing violates natural law. Therefore, the story that they make up about the sky can't possibly be true. Not only that, it's only 100 years old. So it's just a story that people tell. It's not like anyone knows. That's why I said there's like 100 different cosmologies. So when I was talking about cosmology, that includes in university what they think about the vacuum of space. They're speculating because they don't know. So I don't care what all 100 of them in all these different universities think because they don't know. That's why they're speculating. I don't care what NASA shows. I don't care what they claim they're doing. I don't care what JAXA shows. I don't care what JAXA claims they're doing. Doesn't matter because they're all claiming to be in a second law of thermodynamics violation, that being the vacuum of space. So I'm not really concerned with that. What I do know is that the Earth measures and is practically used as a horizontal plane of reference for pretty much everything that we, yeah.
I mean, yeah, for me personally, I don't really care if the Earth's flat or round. It doesn't really affect my life whatsoever. But
That's a complete non sequitur.
I'm a hardborn skeptic in my heart, so I like to question everything.
But that's a
And
complete non sequitur to what I just said.
but
Meaning
that's the thing. Like
it doesn't relate to anything that I just mentioned. So you saying you're a
I
skeptic,
know.
you
I'm
saying
just saying
that.
I'm a skeptic. So I
All right, well,
any like
I don't
information
know if you're
that
skeptical. I don't know if you're skeptical. It doesn't sound
Why
like you're
would you be
skeptical to me.
skeptic of something you just admitted doesn't matter to you in your life at all? So I'm sorry, but I have a hard time when I hear people say that it doesn't relate or matter to you in your day to day life. It
well,
absolutely.
I'm not a astronaut for NASA, so I don't really have to know.
You don't have to be
If
an astronaut.
But that's what I
well, I'm
was
not a
saying.
pilot
That's what I
either.
was
The
If
saying
you're
to
pilots,
the
you
given,
other.
know.
if
That's what I was saying to the other guy. The idea that space is real, or the idea that it's a globe Earth, you couldn't care less because
Well,
it
I'm
actually
not a.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't actually have an impact on your life, whether that's real or not. Because you don't have any consequence of living on a sphere. That's why you don't care. That's why it doesn't matter. Because truly, what doesn't exist doesn't matter because it doesn't impact your life. So, so what? What does that have to do with you being here asking the questions that you asked?
Well,
well,
I'm
But
not
they are
a
taking your money
salty.
and
scientist, but I can
misappropriating
be
your funds.
interested in science in my own free time, and maybe
Say
you're not
again.
getting my
Salty.
logic. Maybe it doesn't have logic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a logical person,
What'd you say about the
and
science?
I'm saying like it doesn't impact my life whether I live on a sphere or a flat plane,
Yeah, we
because
know.
in the end I will be just another guy that's living from paycheck to paycheck, just trying to get my
You
food
know
in,
that's
trying to get
another mental. You
my
know that's
workouts
another
in.
mental prison as well, right? To
It
to
is,
to,
I might
to
just
go to work.
become a monk and leave my
No, no,
job
no,
and
no. You wouldn't have
Uh,
to do that because the world that you were born into, it's bountiful and you gain things in multiples. That's how this world works. You put a seed in the ground and you get a fucking tree of apples. Okay, that's how that works. The idea that you have to work, then work, then work, then work, then work then get a paycheck, then work, then work, then work, then work, then work, then get a paycheck, that's something you think you have to do. Meanwhile, some people can make $1 million in one day. They figured that out. That means that
Well, they're
that
on top of the
actually
pyramid.
is, excuse me?
They're on top of the pyramid.
No. Well, anyone can be on top of the pyramid.
I mean, I'm not a Rothschild, so I don't, I don't
You
have
don't have to be a
access to it. So
Rothschild. Why would you have to be a Rothschild to not do the thing that doesn't work,
I'm just
which is
playing. I'm
work,
just
work?
playing. Sorry, I'm just playing.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Why do you think you have to be a Rothschild
I
to
don't.
work,
I
work?
just. I'm sorry. I was just joking.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the only reason that you have that kind of thinking where you think that, oh, I can't be a Rothschild is because you think that the common man and the respectable man has to work, 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 then get paid. You've never thought
I
about
understand that. Like the
you've
90% think
never thought
Bro,
about
bro,
setting
bro, bro,
aside
can you stop interrupting, bro? Let
you've
him
you've
finish his
never
point, please.
you've never thought about setting aside $10,000 of all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into a company. You've never used that leverage from your job to set aside $10,000 to invest in a property that may make you $800 over the course of I don't know. Even if it was a small return, even if you made 80% of that back. So 8 grand or whatever. Okay, well, 8 grand in a year, that's not a lot. But after that year, what if you did that twice? That's 16 grand. What if you did that again? What if you took on partners? You see how timetables collapse after that because you're doing something with your worth. That's just one thing of 100 different things that humans could do to not be slaves. Okay, so it's just your thinking that's keeping you where you are.
Can I ask?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Can I ask
I
this
mean,
guy a
like the
question?
90%. Yeah.
You said you consider yourself a skeptical person, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you go to the beach and you don't experience the ground moving, but someone comes up to you and says, "Well, actually, it's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator," would you be skeptical of that claim?
The reason why I said I was skeptical is because I
Well,
try
I'm
to
just asking you if
challenge
you would
all
be
of my views,
skeptical.
and if someone
Right,
tells
so
me, yeah, well, actually, you're on a globe that's spinning, this many kilometers per second, I'll be like, okay, well, what evidence do you have of that? Did anybody, go up there and actually film it, or is it just
okay, so
all
you are
smoke and water?
skeptical.
I
So you are
am.
skeptical of the claim that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
I am. But the thing is,
Okay.
it's like, you know, I get the thing that you said about planting a seed, and I think that's what the flat Earth community is about. It's about spreading the message about thinking outside of the box,
No, it's about
questioning
it's about looking
what
for
we're told.
evidence. It's about looking
Yeah,
for evidence and verifiability of the story that we've been told. So, since you're skeptical of the ground spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, did you go and look to see what the evidence is?
yeah, I did, and I mean it's mostly scientific circles that are all based around the same observations, which we as people that are not in those circles cannot verify to be true observations, like satellites and other probes that were sent up into space. We cannot
So
verify
you
that
couldn't
ourselves.
find any verifiable evidence.
Well, to my own eyes, it seems flat, but I'm still doing a lot of research on my own, and watching a
So
lot
you're
of
skeptical of the globe and
flat
you're
Earth
looking
YouTube
for the
channels.
evidence.
Yeah, I keep an open mind.
All right. Well, what do you think the best globe evidence is?
The best global evidence is, in my opinion, right now, since I can't find a counter argument for it, is the reason why we see different constellations in the north hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. I have not seen any rational explanation from a flat earther that would explain why we see different constellations on the northern hemisphere and on the southern hemisphere.
Why would you think that the burden of proof would be on a flat earther, quote unquote, to explain that observation, rather than the person on the globe side who is just assuming a sphere? Right? You're saying, if we see different in the north and southern hemispheres, you've just made an assumption. So actually, it would be on the person saying, we have these observations because we are on a sphere to prove that we're on a sphere, rather than the person who's saying, I don't believe we're on a sphere, to prove something about the lights in the sky. Why do you think that burden of proof is on us?
Well, all I'm saying is I haven't seen a good model that would depict those constellations in the sky, and I have a friend in Australia.
Why do you think we would need a
sent me
model?
pictures of the sky, and so I know that they see a different sky at night.
Right, but why do you think we would need a model when there's no evidence of the globe that this side are assuming to begin with? They need to provide
a
evidence
different model
of
than the globe.
Where's
no,
this
but the
globe model
globe
you're talking about?
Yeah, there isn't actually a globe model. But before you even get to a model, you would be asserting, hey, the stars are doing this because the ground is curved. The lakes and the oceans are curved. Okay, well, you're going to need to evidence that the lakes and oceans are curved before you can say the lights in the sky are doing this because the ground, the lakes, and the oceans are curved.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know why the lights in the sky are behaving in the way that they are. If you move in
does your lack of
north-south, you see different stars. Why
lights
are
in
we
the sky
doing
are doing? Yeah, but does your lack of understanding that, or anyone's lack of understanding that, tell us anything about the Earth, the ground beneath our feet?
Well, I'm not assuming a globe Earth. That's, you know.
No, but you are, because you said
anything.
the best evidence for the globe is this question, and this question assumes a globe Earth, if you want to use it in favor of the globe Earth. You're saying we have this observation in the northern and southern hemispheres, so you're assuming a sphere, but that's already logically fallacious to jump to that.
I'm just trying to find an explanation to why we see different constellations when we are.
Well, let's say
latitude.
hypothetically, you're in a warehouse that's many miles long, and it's huge, right?
Okay.
And someone's put random patterns of fairy lights all over the roof. So wherever you're walking, you're seeing these fairy lights, these different patterns. If you're at one part of the warehouse and you look up, you're going to see a particular set of patterns in the fairy lights. If you move to a much further place in the warehouse and look up, you're going to see a different pattern of fairy lights, aren't you?
Okay, fair enough.
So, I mean, if you're under a different part of the sky, it can make sense that you would see a different part of the sky, right? So it's not a point in favor of the globe. You would have to fallaciously assume a globe, and then we'd just get back to, okay, the stars are doing this because the Earth's a ball. Now, can you show us that the Earth is actually a ball before we assume that about the lights in the sky? And that's what we're always going to come back to, no matter what the story. Oh, but what about the satellites? What about the gravity? Okay, well then, the lakes and the oceans are curving. Where's the evidence of that? Do you see what I mean?
I mean, the fundamental thing that you have to prove if you want to assume a globe Earth model is gravity, but I don't think.
No, it's not. It's the curvature. No. Listen, dropping something isn't telling you anything about the shape of the Earth, right? You would need to prove curvature if you're claiming you're on a sphere. You would need to prove motion of the Earth if you claim you're on a spinning sphere. Right? Those are the things you would need to prove to say, I'm on a spinning sphere. It wouldn't just be to say a word that relates to dropping something. It would be the physical dimensions of the sphere that you're claiming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we come back to is when you say, oh, but what about gravity? Oh, but what about the astronauts? What about the satellites in space? Well, if any of those are true, then the curvature would be true, right? So can we just verify the curvature, and then we can start talking about all this other stuff that's just assuming curvature. And then when we ask that, we get, I don't know, someone. Do you know? Do you know who measured curvature, for example?
Well, the most famous story of a person measuring the supposed curvature of the Earth is was it Aristotle, the Greek mathematician?
Aristophanes, but he didn't measure.
Aristophanes,
He
yeah, yeah.
measured shadows.
What do you think? What do you think this person did?
Well, the story goes that he measured the shadow
Okay, that's not
of
Aristotle.
Aristophanes, whatever. Yeah,
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 that's
okay.
Eratosthenes. Okay,
So
so he
he
measured the
You
shadow.
changed your story when you heard me say that too. You said he
Well, I don't,
measured.
I forgot his surname. I'm sorry. It
Okay,
started
no,
with
no, no,
an
it's
A.
not a surname. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so he measured a shadow, did you say?
Yeah, that's how the story goes. I think it's he measured a shadow in Alexandria, I think, and then in somewhere in Egypt down the Nile.
Okay. So
I
how
mean,
would
that's
that
how
have
the
told him
story
that
goes.
the Earth is a spinning ball? Or a ball?
Well, he assumed a globe Earth model, and
Right.
that was his. Yeah.
So when I ask you who measured the curvature, the first thing that you can think of is someone who just assumed the curvature.
But the thing that I want to ask you guys is, does the sun, like, if you
Hold on,
suppose
hold
a
on, wait.
flat Earth
Before you
model?
do that,
No,
before you
you're
do
jumping,
that, can
man.
you just address
Oh,
what he
okay.
just said to you?
Hold on. Yeah,
Before you go,
I
we'll stick
did.
with the
dial it
question.
back a second.
I
No,
You're
you
did.
gonna
didn't.
just
You jumped ship.
It's okay, guys. It's
no.
okay. It's okay. Chill. I've
I
got it.
did. I said
Right.
he assumed, and you were, yeah.
Yeah. So, but this is the
Yeah.
thing, because I asked you who measured the curvature, and the first answer that you gave is a guy that you apparently know assumed it. So I'm asking who measured it, not who assumed it.
I don't know, guys. I'm not an expert in this field.
Okay. Well, do you think has anyone measured it?
Do you know? I don't know. I'm a newbie in the flat Earth community,
Okay.
so maybe you.
Yeah. This is why we're here. No one's measured it. That's
Okay.
the whole point,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So if no one's measured it, and any attempts to measure it only show that it's flat, it doesn't really matter when someone comes in saying, okay, but what about gravity? Okay, but what about the satellites? Okay, but what about the southern stars, right? That doesn't matter because when we come back to that's assuming curvature, well, we've checked for the curvature and there is none. So all of those stories go out the window. Do you understand?
Something else is going
Yeah.
on.
I have that's my last question.
Hold on,
And,
real quick.
yeah.
Before you jump on that, I just want to kind of like end this Eratosthenes story, right? So like the story of Eratosthenes, sticks and shadows, right? He looked at a shadow on a well, then he looked at another shadow on a stick 500 stadia away, and supposedly like he realized that on this specific day, the well there would be no shadows, so he went to another location 500 stadia away, put a stick in the ground, and measured the shadow, and that's how he got both of his shadows at the same time. Now, it's interesting to know, PDK, that there is no direct reference from him saying that he did this. The only reference, the earliest reference of this is in the 1200s, and it was written by I can't remember who it was written by. I think it was another Greek who referenced this. So 1400 years after the fact, they're telling the story, right? Geographica is the name of the book that it was referenced in. It wasn't even written by Eratosthenes. It was written by somebody else 1400 years later. So you got to understand there's a lot of trickery going on. They tell you one thing, but they're not telling you the whole story.
All
Yeah,
right.
well,
I
it
mean,
sounds
yeah.
like he already knew it's a story. I mean, he prefaced it by
I
saying there's
mean,
this story. So
I mean, yeah, the globe Earth model was brought about by the Jesuits, right? By the
well, we're not getting into all that. We're not getting into all that. Listen, this is what you need to be thinking like if you want to figure this out. We were talking about the curvature. We're talking about who measured the curvature. Isn't it weird that the first answer that Google's giving you is a story that you can quickly figure out was just an assumption?
Like if Jim Bob had measured the curvature of the Earth, don't you think they would have said Jim Bob was the first person that actually measured the curvature of the Earth?
Yeah, I mean, why would it be difficult to find a measurement of curvature of the Earth if we live on the ball of the exact size that they say?
I mean, I guess
I mean, not just
the whole
curvature, there's
scientific
still
club.
motion, everything else.
I guess the whole
Okay, so what
scientific
else
club
is
is
keeping
going
you hung up on the globe?
an easy way.
All right, so what else are you thinking about for the globe? Are there any other points? The southern stars, do you understand that now? How that doesn't prove a globe?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so what are the other good points for the globe? Anything?
Not at the moment, no. I think there's a lot of good counter evidence for that.
Okay. So do you know that there's a bunch
But
of additional
last
resource
question
channels
is there?
further down the server list? Sorry, I'll let you get to your last question. Look, I'll let you get to your last question. I just want to make sure that you've seen all the information channels down below. There's like beginner sections, PDF sections.
A whole library.
Do you see the list? Do you see the library? It's alphabetized, A to Z.
Like the first time I joined this server was like 4 years ago, and I don't think that channel existed back then, so no, I need to catch up on that, I think.
Okay, well, if you just scroll down the server list, like 3/4 of the way down, you'll see the additional information channels, like curvature, gravity, eclipses, long-distance observations. See all those channels? So when you've got a question about something, you can also have a look in there to see what's also been posted. And it's stuff that Google and YouTube will probably not be showing you because they censor it for some reason. So what's your last question?
I was gonna say something about Christianity, but that's a whole other topic. But my last question is about the best proposition for the flat Earth model that you could give. So I saw one where it was like a sun that was going around in bigger or smaller circles around the flat Earth, and it was doing like a perfect.
Concepts. Yeah, these would all be concepts. Listen, no one can achieve that view of Earth, so it's all speculation. I mean, there's a lot of work being done by people to try to understand the motions of the luminaries and what they're actually doing, but obviously there are very real practical and economic limitations to what members of the public can actually do. So, no, I don't ascribe to any model. I wouldn't even claim or push a model on anyone because I'm not looking to replace a story with another story. All I'm saying, personally, is we are given a story about the globe. It's very specific, and you can test the claims yourself relatively easily, long-distance observations, things like that, and you can find that they're not true. So whatever the Earth is, it's not a globe. And we should all be interested in trying to figure out as much as we can about it. So when you say, oh, it doesn't matter to me, I don't care, like that's just crazy talk. I mean, you obviously haven't thought about it. Like, it's your physical environment, right? So obviously it matters. Reality itself, the nature of it matters because you exist within it and you operate within it. So, I mean, I wouldn't drop that from your vocabulary. You do care. You wouldn't be here if you didn't care. You should care, and this is a good place to learn about it. So ask questions, read the resources, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys are really wholesome.
Yeah, no problem. Welcome to the
Just
server.
be patient, man. Don't be so impatient about your adventure in learning. There's a lot of paradigms that you're gonna have to learn how to let go in order to understand what's going on, because we don't even understand everything that's going on. But we know what we're being told is in other sense, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
If
surprised
I
he's
could
been here
address something
4
real quick.
years.
No, I joined it 4 years ago. I got into like a debate, and I was like, skeptical about flat Earth itself, and I guess I didn't have enough previous knowledge to actually have a good, serious debate with the guy that was here. I think his name was like what was it? Oh, I forgot. That's right. But yeah, you guys have fun. Have a good day, and see ya. See you around.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.
Have a good one.
Peace. Have a good one.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.